Interesting. You know, the something else, another concept came to mind, and you kind of tie it in as well, and that is the whole notion of identity. Because I see a lot of these young men, if your identity is tied up in the bling, if your identity is tied up in being involved with a white girl or you know something like that, then anybody trying to tell you something different, you're only going to hear those things that are telling you that, at least until you get a revelation like you did. So
well, you hear it, right? You hear something that you disagree with, and it hits you. That's it pushing your buttons. You know it, and your buttons get pushed. And then what we say is, that person did something to me. Well, no, you had that insecurity, that sense of, you know, maybe I'm not doing something right, and that person pushed your buttons. Now we think that the negativity we felt was actually caused by somebody, as opposed to actually something that's being addressed in our own self. Again, because we're thinking life is outside of us as opposed to inside of us. Again, the point, as I show on the book, you know, each circle has that center point in it, because that's you. Everything else is simply what you project, what you project, how you feel about it. You can be in a party and one person can be enjoying it and the other person can be sad. The party is still a rockin' party. The difference is how those two individuals feel. The great revelation of Einstein is that time is relevant, meaning that each of us has our own sense of time. As you're having fun, time flies. As you're sad and depressed, it begins to slow, and you feel it. You know, I tell this story of the school bell. You know, you look up at the school bell 5 minutes before it's time to ring. You look at the clock, and you're waiting. You're like, oh, ring, ring, ring. And that 5 minutes takes like 15 minutes.
It seemed like.
Right, you know, the bell rings, and you run outside, and you got that 15-minute recess. You know, you go out there, and you start playing, and then ring, the bell rings. Like, whoa, that 15 minutes felt like 5 minutes. That's the proof that your emotions control how you're actually in motion through the universe, right? If you're moving fast, you're having fun. Moving slow again, you're slowing down. The understanding again of matter, you know, the more condensed the matter is, the more gravity gets pulled to it. Things are now drawn to it. So the more something matters to you, the more everything has to orbit it. The more we can let something go, the easier we can just kind of roll through life. But when things matter so much and everything has to orbit around it, and we find ourselves repeating the same cycles over and over again, until we can get to a point to where we can say, well, life doesn't have to actually look this way. And I had to have that revelation over and over and over and over again. It doesn't have to be this way. I don't have to be a gang member. I don't have to be a dope dealer. I don't have to be just, you know, wandering the streets.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.